Hello, everyone, and welcome to our next session. My name is Carissa, and I'll be your teacher for this hour. Okay, so this is going to end our series of writing and grammar for today, at least for me. So in this activity, or in this session, we're going to work on our capitalization. Okay, we're going to just go ahead and review what is capitalized in a sentence. What things need to be capitalized? Okay, so when you're ready to practice, come on into our session and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, great. So it's time for us to go ahead and start our lesson. When you're ready, come on into the Hangout and we'll go ahead and get started on our lesson. Hello, Monica. How are you doing today?
Hello, Carissa. I'm doing well, thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good today. Thanks so much for asking. It's good to see you again, Monica. How is your day going?
Okay, it's okay. Now it's 6 p.m. in Bogota. It's ending the day, but it was a good day.
Okay. All right. So it's been a pretty good day then. Okay. So were you working today or did you rest today?
Uh, I had to work. I work from Monday to Friday, every day.
From Monday to Friday. Now tell me again what you do.
I'm CAD designer. I draw plans for
Okay.
civil engineer.
Okay. Okay. So do you find is your job tiring or do you find it enjoyable?
My job is, I don't know how to explain this. It's a good job, but have a little problem. It started because you have to use the
Mm-hmm.
mouse in the computer all day,
Mm.
and this cause um, professional disease. I don't know how to say that. When you are sick, uh, mm,
You're sick.
your hands are sick, your
Oh,
arm.
so maybe overuse syndrome?
Yes, yes,
Mm-hmm,
and I
mm-hmm.
have that problem.
Carpal tunnel, I think is what maybe that is, carpal tunnel.
Yeah,
It's an overuse syndrome. Yeah. So do you have an ergonomic keyboard and chair?
yeah, yeah. All my stuffs are ergonomic, but the problem is basically the job.
I see.
It's a shame because it's a good job.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe they will make some advances in technology and you'll be able to use the mouse in a different way. It'd be nice to actually have a voice activated or voice directed mouse.
I don't know. Maybe the only way is when you can use your eyes. I don't know. I
That's even
don't
better.
find another way. Yeah, because yeah, it's really tired to use the mouse every day, all days.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, well maybe you can design a mouse that way that you can move with your eyes. That would be good. You can put a patent on that and that would be great.
Maybe
Yeah,
would be a good idea.
it just sounds like a great
Someone who
idea.
design, yeah, someone who design a different mouse. I would appreciate so
Well,
much.
it might already be in the works. Someone may already be designing it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are suffering the same situation.
Yes, I think, yeah, that's true. I also work as a sign language interpreter, and because I use sign language a lot, and others use sign language a lot, overuse syndrome is pretty popular among interpreters.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, thank you, Monica, for sharing with us. Great to chat with you right here before class. Okay, let's go ahead and welcome Carolina. Hello, Carolina. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm doing very well. Thank you. And you?
Oh, I'm doing just fine. Thank you very much. I'm officially on my second cup of coffee, but
Okay.
yes, I'm doing just fine today. Well, good. Thank you very much for asking, and thanks for being here with us in the Hangout. All right, for those of you who are viewing and who are just joining us, if you do have a verbal ticket and you would like to participate in our class, please go ahead and do so now. Okay, so as you read in our class description, we're going to talk about capital letters. And I'm going to share again with you a helpful link, and we're going to learn a little bit about, we're just going to review some of the rules for capital letters. Now, you probably already know some of these, okay, so this is just going to be a nice review, but I found a site that I like, and I want to share it with you right now. So I'm going to go ahead. It's not working for me to do a screen share, so I'm not going to try to do it. I'm just going to pass along a link, and then we can all look at it together. So can Carolina and Monica, can you both see the verbaling chat?
No, I can't.
Verbal
Okay.
chat? Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay. Oh, but I forgot the link that you put. Okay, I see you again.
Okay.
Okay, I can see the link.
Okay, very good. So let's go to the link and let's take a look at it together. So when you have it open, just go ahead and let me know, and then we'll go ahead and just kind of skim through it briefly to get a quick review of the rules.
Okay, 10 rules of capitalization.
Yes, there you are. Okay. Now, I personally like the layout of this particular website. Okay, the font is a nice size. It's very clear, and I don't feel overwhelmed by it. Okay, so, and this can be a quick reference guide for you if you want to bookmark it. If you're not sure when you're writing which letters to capitalize, you can just quickly go back to this as a reference. Okay? All right.
Okay,
Now, we're not going to read the whole page, but we are going to pick out a few interesting points. Okay. Okay, let's go to right underneath where it says instant grammar checker, where it says most of the things we capitalize. Okay, let's read that part. Okay, Monica, would you mind starting for me?
the first part.
Yes, most of the things we capitalize.
Most of the things we capitalize in English are what we call proper nouns. They are the names of specific, unique things. If you are talking about one specific mountain, Mount Fuji, State, Idaho, or Street, Atlantic Avenue, use a capital letter for every word in the name. However, when you are talking about a common thing of which there are many, like a mountain, a state, or a street, don't use a capital letter for those words. Capitals are not used for articles, a and the, or prepositions, of, on, for, in, to, which. etc.
Very good. Okay, so let me give you a couple of true or false questions. Okay? All right, so true or false? Okay? There are 100 rules of capitalization that you must memorize. True or false?
False.
False. There are not 100 rules of capitalization. Okay, and precisely in this article, they break it down into 10 rules of capitalization. Okay, all right, so this one's going to be for, oh, looks like I lost Carolina. Okay, well, Monica, we're going to continue. Okay,
What
so
happened with Carolina?
I don't know, she may have lost connection or
Yeah.
had to leave. Okay, all right, so, okay, so Monica, true or false?
Yeah.
Most words that you capitalize are proper nouns.
Yeah. Most of
Yes,
the things we capitalize in English are nouns.
that's right. They're nouns. Okay? And that's in a nutshell. So if you're talking about a specific mountain, state, or street, and you're going to use the name, then you're going to capitalize every letter. You use a capital letter for every word in that name. Okay, so look at the example where it says mountain, and it says it uses the abbreviation for mount, and then it uses the name Fuji.
And if I want to read with the abbreviation, how can I read this word? Mountain, mountain, mount. How can I say that?
Okay, so the way that you would read that would be Mount Fuji.
Mount. Ah, okay.
So I'm going to put that here. So it's actually just a shortened way of saying mountain. Okay, so just
Mm,
Mount Fuji.
okay, mount. Okay.
Mhm. Excellent. So Mount Fuji. Okay, very good. Now look at where it says street. Okay, so it has Atlantic Avenue.
Yeah.
Okay, now you'll notice that it is the first letter in Atlantic, the A is capitalized, and in Avenue, it's also capitalized. Okay, so
Yeah.
it should not look like this, Atlantic Avenue. Okay, check the chat box. Okay, that is the incorrect way to do that. Okay.
Atlantic. It's incorrect.
That's incorrect because, as it mentions there, you want to make sure that you capitalize all of the letters in the title or in that name. Okay, so it should
Ah,
look like this. Atlantic Avenue. Both A's should be capitalized.
okay.
Okay. All right, beautiful job. Okay? All right. And when you're just talking about mountains or states or a state or a street, and you're not going to mention a name, then you
Yeah.
don't need to capitalize it. Okay, so every time I see mountain, I don't have to capitalize it unless I'm going to use it, unless I'm talking about a specific mountain.
Okay. When you talk about any specific mountains, avenue, street, etc., you have to use capital letters.
Yes, when you talk about specific ones.
Okay. But if we are talking about the common thing, don't use capital letters.
Right, okay, especially, okay, I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, so here's an example in the chat box. Now, there are some mistakes in this sentence. Okay, now I'd like you to tell me what mistakes I need to correct in that sentence.
Okay, it's incorrect because we have to say, I think that mountains in this case are with the first letter is not use capital letters.
Okay, so we need to put that in what we call lowercase.
Yeah, are beautiful, especially Mount Fuji. And Mount Fuji have to use capital letters.
Okay, now which letters are capitalized?
Mount
Yes, that's right. Excellent job. Okay, so those are the corrections. That's right. Okay, so I think you got it. Now, anytime you see prepositions or articles, okay, now our articles are a, and the, and then just your prepositions. Okay, you're not going to use capitals. Okay, you're just going to use lowercase letters. Okay. Now, as we continue to read, you'll see these ideas and rules in action. Okay. Now, you already know that names, that when you talk about people's names or names of people, you're going to capitalize. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me have you type your name in the chat box for me. Type your name correctly in the chat box for me. Just your first and last name. If you want to use your middle initial, you can. Okay, very good. Excellent job. So the M in your first name and the S in your last name are capitalized. Beautiful
Yeah.
job. Okay, now here's something else. Now, if you're going to talk about your status, okay, or titles that you would use, your titles, excuse me. So you would use, as you see there, Mr., Mrs., or Doctor. You could also
Yeah.
use Miss, M-I-S-S, if you are not married, or if you've never been married, and you would say Miss. If you're young, if you're not so young anymore, then you would just use M-S. Okay? All right.
MS?
Yes, so let me put it here in the chat for you. Okay, so if you are, as I mentioned, if for younger women who have never been married, they would say Miss. So I would say maybe Miss Sally eh, Graham. Okay, so Miss Sally Graham.
Yeah.
Okay, now if she is married, then you're going to say Mrs. Sally Graham, just like that.
Okay.
Okay, now let's say that Sally Graham is either divorced or she's older and single. Okay, so she's going to say Miss like this, Sally Graham.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so I'm going to just put
Miss.
that here.
But when
So
you say Miss and Miss, the way the pronunciation sounds really similar. I don't know how
yes,
to difference that two words.
you really can't. There's no distinction when you say it. Okay, the only way that you know to distinguish it is when you write it.
Yeah,
That's it.
the
And
pronunciation is the same.
yes, exactly. The only one that's different is Mrs.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one's obviously different. You know that's for a married woman. Okay, but Miss, okay, she's either she's young and unmarried. Okay, so Miss, and if it's that she is a little older and unmarried, or she is divorced, then you would say Miss. Okay, it sounds
If
exactly the
the
same.
if yeah, if the lady is divorced, you use Miss. Miss.
hmm
Okay. And maybe she is older.
Right.
We
hmm
don't have this kind of difference in Spanish.
No.
It's a new
Well,
word for me.
you kind of do. You have señorita and you have señora.
Yeah, yeah. But
And where I live in Costa Rica, people say doña. So
yeah, in Colombia too. Doña.
yeah.
In
Mhm.
Spain is people in Spain use doña too.
Mhm. Yep. So yeah. So you do have it. It just sounds a little different.
Okay, doña is Miss.
Yes. So yeah, doña could be miss. Usually though, doña means Mrs. As if you're a married woman. Maybe senora could be if you're married or if you are divorced, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Married or divorced
hmm
in that case. But
Yeah.
for example, in Spain, they use doña even for young girls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. For example, the girls and the girls of the daughters of the king, they are girls, children,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
the appropriate way to refer them is doña.
Hmm. Okay, so when you're referring to royalty, like a princess,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Hmm.
You can show your respect talking in this way.
Okay. Well, thank you. I learned something new today.
Yeah, about the Spanish. Yeah.
Yes. I think, well, even in Costa Rica, if you are older and unmarried, um, they say señorona. I don't know what
Ah, no. This is a new word for me. No,
so I
we
can,
we use doñita.
Doñita. Ah, okay.
Yes, it's doña, but with more. I
With
don't know how to say
affection,
it, with
with
more
affection.
love. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you. Okay. Well, I just want to welcome David. Hello, David. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, teacher.
Hi. Now, you came in on the tail end of a conversation, so you may be a little bit confused as to what we're talking about.
Oh, that's okay. I understand.
Okay, I'm going to just share this link with you, David. This is what we are looking at, and this is what our conversation was based on. David, I can't remember. You are in the Verbaling chat, or you're in the other chat?
Maybe I'm in both.
Both. Okay, I'm going to put it in the Verbaling chat then. Okay, so let's see. Okay, well,
Carolina
actually,
is
it's
come
there.
back.
Yeah.
Hi,
Good. Welcome back, Carolina. We missed you.
I'm sorry, I lost my connection.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, actually, I said that. I said, she probably lost her connection.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're going now to our key rules, and we're on the website and grammar.yourdictionary.com, and we're taking a look at some of the key rules to capitalization. Okay, so you can quickly skim the top there to see what you missed. We were just talking about titles. And that's under number 1, names of people, in the second paragraph. So we're just talking about titles. Another title that we want to read about is president. Okay? All right, so the very last sentence in the second paragraph says we don't always capitalize the word president. Okay, so for example, when you talk about President Lincoln, okay, you do capitalize the P in president. Okay, so because that's his title, you're President Lincoln. And I'm just going to put that here in the chat for you so that you can see that a little clearer. Okay, so President Lincoln, that's his title. So you use president, capitalize P, and then in his name, of course. Okay, so President Lincoln. Now let's read why we don't always capitalize it. Okay, so it says we could say during the Civil War, President Lincoln was the President of the United States. Okay, now you're just talking about president in general. Okay, you're not talking about his title. Okay, so that makes the difference. So I'm just going to put that, although you have it here, I'm just going to put that in the chat for you just so that you have that specific piece. Okay, all right. Okay, so don't be confused if sometimes you see president capitalized and sometimes you don't. Okay, now we understand why. Okay, let's go to number 2. Names of mountains, mountain ranges, hills, and volcanoes. All right, okay, good. So, David, can you read number 2 for me, please? Actually, can you read number 2 and 3? That'd be great.
Okay. Names of mountains, mountain ranges, hills, and volcanoes. Again, we are talking about specific place. The word hill is not a proper noun, but Gellert Hill is because it's the name of one specific hill. Use a capital letter to begin each word in the name of mountain. Mountain Olympus. Mountain range, the Appalachians.
Mhm.
Hill, San Juan Hill, or volcano, Mount Vesuvius. Name
Yeah.
of bodies of water, rivers, lake, ocean, seas, streams, and creeks. From here, it gets pretty easy. The same rules that apply to mountain names also apply to water names. A river is just a river, but the Mississippi River is the proper noun and must be capitalized just like Lake Erie, the
Erie.
Indian Erie, the Indian
Mhm.
Ocean, and the Dead Sea.
Right, the Dead Sea. Good. Now, in my introduction to one of my classes, I talked about Lake Erie, because it's one of the Great Lakes, and it touches the northern portion of the state where I live, in Ohio. Well, where I'm from. I don't actually live in Ohio. Okay, very good. Now, so since we all come from distinct places, let's type a little. Okay, so we have lots to type here. Now, let's think about. I want you to think about mountains, hills, volcanoes, and bodies of water in your country or in your city. Okay, and I want you to type some of those in the chat box for me. So I want to get to know a little bit more about where you live. Okay, so let's first start off just with our mountains. Mountains, hills, and volcanoes. So let's put some of those in the chat box. And I'm going to be putting a couple in there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's just take a minute and we're going to write a little bit.
Teacher,
Uh-huh.
why in the forest, during the Civil War, all words is capitalized?
Okay, let's take a look at that. Okay, so I'm sorry, say that again. Where were you reading?
In the first, names of people.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last phrase,
Okay.
during the Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
all words are capitalized.
Okay. Not all of the words. There's one word that's not capitalized.
The
The. Okay. Now, if you just check quickly above key rules, okay, that last sentence, capitals are not used for articles, a, and the. Okay. So they're not. So, and if you look in number 3, once again, okay, right toward the end where it says the Indian Ocean, okay,
okay,
right. So the in Indian Ocean, the Indian Ocean, that's not capitalized. And when you talk about the Dead Sea, the is not capitalized either. Now, why is Civil War capitalized? Okay,
because it's a name.
that's right. That's right. It's a proper noun. That's right.
Were there a war in America called Civil War?
Yes, there was. The Civil War.
When I write Civil War with the letters capitalized, I means the specific Civil War that happened in the past. When I write Civil War without capitalized letter, I means any Civil War.
hmm
Am I wrong?
Yes. Now you can take out, let's see, let's give you an example. Okay, so I can say, and I need to make a correction, sorry. Okay. Okay, so I could say, I can start off a sentence and say Civil War broke out in, hmm, I'll make up a name, I don't know, Civil War broke out in Panama. Okay? All right, now I'm still capitalizing the C here, but not because it's a proper noun. Okay, I'm only
Okay.
capitalizing it because it's at the beginning of a sentence.
Okay.
Okay, so I could say, for example, many civil wars have been fought over the past 100 years. Okay. All right. So, do you see why civil wars is not capitalized here?
Because it's it is a noun in general.
That's right. That's right. Because I'm not talking about a specific one. So you see that there's no definite article in front of civil war.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a tip off. If I'm not talking about a proper noun, okay, I'm not giving you a name of a civil war. I just mean in general.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I could also say, let's talk about titles one more time. So Dr. Oz is one of the best doctors I know. Okay, now I'm going to ask you, I'm going to put two options here in the chat. I want you to tell me which is the correct one. Okay. Okay, now look at that sentence. Dr. Oz is one of the best doctors I know. Now, do I need to capitalize this, the first Dr. Oz? Is that correct?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay, now why is that correct?
Because doctor is the beginning of the sentence. Us is the name.
That's right. So there's two reasons why that's capitalized. Now, it says Dr. Oz is one of the best. Now, which one do I use? Is it the lowercase doctors or the uppercase doctors?
What?
Okay, in the sentence, okay, look at the sentence. There are two options. Is one of the best. Now, which word do I use? Do I use doctors with a lowercase d or with an uppercase d?
Okay. Lowercase.
Okay. Now, why lowercase?
Because it is not a name, a noun. No, it is a noun.
It is a noun. It's just not a proper one.
Yeah, it is not a proper noun.
That's right. It's not a proper noun, so you don't need to capitalize it. Okay, good. So I'm going to put that here just for the sake of our other two students. Very good. Okay. All right. So I would love to see some names of mountains and volcanoes. Okay. So let's see. Let's get those in the chat. Maybe give me one example. Good, Monica. River Magdalena. Okay. Lake Tota and Volcano Ruiz. Good. Excellent job. Okay. All right. Let's see. Carolina, can
Teacher,
you? Yes.
if I say I want to see Dr. Oz, the D must be capitalized.
Okay, now I'm going to let you answer that. Okay, take a look. Take a look in our 10 rules under names of people. Look in the second paragraph. The
Like
second
president.
paragraph, yeah, it's just like the president. So titles can be as simple as, but they can also apply to situations where you address a person by their position. Okay, so just like President Lincoln, Dr. Oz.
Okay.
Good question. Excellent job. Okay, good, Carolina. Atlantic Ocean. Now you can use the definite article there, and you could say the Atlantic Ocean. That's right. But remember, the is not going to be capitalized. Just the name, Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so the Kuka River. Excellent job.
Cauca, Carolina.
Cauca. Oh, sorry.
There. What happened?
I'm sorry, is my corrector? I'm sorry.
Yeah. That,
I'm sorry.
I was even having a hard time pronouncing that.
It's Cauca, Cauca.
Okay, the Cauca River.
Oh no.
So I
Okay.
don't think we'll ever forget the Cauca River. I don't think we'll forget
No,
that.
don't forget that.
Okay, very good. Okay, now let's just continue. Okay, let's go back to the site. Okay, and let's just take a couple more just to clarify. Okay, so number 4 talks about names of buildings, monuments, bridges, and tunnels. Okay, now here's an interesting sentence. Okay, so man-made structures often have names. The White House, the Eiffel Tower, the Statue of Liberty, the Golden Gate Bridge, and the Lincoln Tunnel are a few good examples. Now, I have a question. We said before that the articles a, and the are not capitalized. Okay, but why is the White House? Why is the T in the White House capitalized?
Because the correct name is complete. The White House is complete.
Okay, well,
Because
mm,
it's beginning a sentence, there is
yes,
a period.
that's right. Just because it's at the beginning of a sentence, that's all. Because otherwise, it would simply be the, just like you see in the Eiffel Tower and the Statue of Liberty, it would be, the T would be lowercase. Okay, because the articles aren't capitalized. It's just because that article just happens to be at the beginning of a sentence. Okay? All
Okay.
right, so names of buildings, monuments, bridges, and tunnels. All right, we also talked about street names. Now, you'll often see, for street names, you'll see the name of the street and then you'll see street behind it, okay, or boulevard or avenue, okay. Now, I'll ask this question, okay, do I need to capitalize that? So let's say that, I'm just going to make this up. I live on Capitol Street. Now, is this correct? I live on Capitol Street. Or do I need to make a correction? Okay, look at the word street. Should that be capitalized or should that be lowercase like it is?
I think it's necessary capitalize both words. Capital street.
That's right. You need to capitalize both. Now let's go back up to the top. Scroll back up to the top. Okay, you see where it says most of the things we capitalize? Right underneath that, look at the first bullet point. Okay, so if you're talking about one specific, and let's skip a little bit, street. One specific street, and it says Atlantic Avenue. Okay, both Atlantic and Avenue are capitalized. So yes, you want to capitalize that. Excellent job. So what that should say is I live on Capitol and then capitalize the S, street. I live on Capitol Street. Okay, very good. Okay, good. All right, let's scroll back down once again. Okay, we're just about to the end of this little section. All right, now when you talk about schools, colleges, and universities, okay, so here are some famous ones here in the United States. One is the Harvard University, okay, and the other ones I'm not sure how famous they are, but Wilkesboro Elementary School, Cape Fear Community College. One thing that you'll notice is that all of the words in the name are capitalized. Okay, do you see that? All of the words there are capitalized. So I went to the University of Cincinnati.
always is in this way? When you
Yep,
talk about the schools, college, and university, no matter what kind of university, you have to capitalize all the letters?
that's right. Okay, with the exception of, remember that your articles are not capitalized and your prepositions are not capitalized. Okay, so if I said, okay, the University of, let's say, Michigan. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to tell me which of these words I should capitalize. Okay, let me give you the example here. Okay, so which of those words should I capitalize? Okay, David, I haven't heard you in a little bit. Maybe I can get you to tell me. All right, so the University of Michigan. Which words in there should I capitalize?
U and M.
That's right. Good. So it should. Can you type it for me?
Okay. But teacher, sometimes I see titles of books, and some books have the letters of all the words capitalized.
Mhm. Okay, so in book titles, okay, we're gonna get to that. Okay, well, let me finish this just 1 second, and then we'll get right to that. Okay, so 'cause I just don't want to confuse anybody. Okay, so when we're talking about our capitalization and we're talking about schools and universities, okay, you're gonna capitalize the whole name except your articles and your preposition. Okay. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and go to number 7. Okay, now when you talk about political divisions like continents, regions, countries, states, counties, cities, and towns, okay, you're going to capitalize those. Okay, because you're talking about the specific political division or divisions. Okay, again, don't capitalize your articles or your prepositions. Okay, David, here is your question. It's right here in number 8. Okay, so since you asked that question, I'm going to get you to read for me. Can you read for number 8 for me?
Okay. Titles of books, movies, magazines, newspapers, articles, songs, plays, and works of art. This one's a little tricky when and articles or prepositions are involved. If the is the first word in the given name of a work, it must be capitalized. The Washington Post, the Glass Menagerie,
Menagerie.
Menagerie. If a or an is the first word, is to, it too is capitalized. A few good men. And if a preposition leads the way, you guessed it, capitalized, of mice and men. However, if any of these words come in the middle of the title, it is not capitalized.
Okay, good. All right, very good job with your reading. Okay, now there's just one thing that I want to mention. When you read the word capitalized, okay, so you're just going to say capitalized and then pronounce the D, capitalized. Okay,
Capitalized.
Okay, no, not capitalized, capitalized. Okay, I'm going to type it right.
Capitalized.
There you go. Okay, that's right. So this is what you're going to do. Okay, look at, here it is in the chat box. Capitalized plus D, capitalized. Okay, very good. Now going back to your question, here is an exception. Okay, when you're talking about titles of books and movies, magazines, etc. Now, this is why you see one of the letters capitalized. And they're the very articles that we said not to capitalize. This is an exception. Okay? Now, it's only true if in the beginning of the given name of the work you have an article or a preposition. Okay, this is one exception. Okay, so now what I'd like you to do is when you are looking at book, movie, magazine, newspaper titles in English, take a look at that. Look at where the article is in the title. If it's at the beginning, you'll see that it's capitalized. If it's not, then it won't be capitalized. Okay, so let's take a look, for example, at Of Mice and Men. All of the words are capitalized except and. Okay, but of is capitalized just because it's at the beginning. Okay, all right, now this is the most common one that most people know. The first letter in a sentence. Okay, we know that that's a given. Okay, but often when I see writing samples, I often see that the first word in a sentence is not capitalized. That sometimes students don't capitalize that, but this is very important because otherwise we don't know that you're starting a sentence. Okay, so you must capitalize the first letter in all of your sentences. Okay?
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right, very good. All right, well, that's it. Well, that's it for number 9. Let's go to number 10, the pronoun I. This is another one that I often see people make a mistake with, the pronoun I. This is, as it mentions here, it's only necessary to capitalize other pronouns when they begin a sentence. Okay? But I is always capitalized. So it doesn't matter where you see the pronoun I in a sentence, it is always capitalized. Okay? So that's a big one. Anytime you're writing, always remember that. Okay, now how about we look at a couple of examples? Okay, I'm going to put some examples here, and I'd like you to tell me what should be capitalized in the sentence. Okay? All right, so here it is. Here's my first one, and I'm going to ask Carolina. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, all right, there it is. Okay, so tell me what needs to be capitalized.
D, indeed.
Okay?
Amanda, because it's a name. And no more.
Okay, there you go. Excellent job. Okay? All right, and let's go ahead to our next one, and this one's going to be, okay? Okay, very good. So, and so this was going to be for I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I missed it. Okay, Monica, this one's going to be for you. Okay,
Okay.
so okay, there's your sentence.
I is with capital letter.
Mm-hmm.
Andes, because it's the name, and oh, I don't know, mountains, mountains. I'm not sure about mountains. The name is Andes.
Okay.
I suppose only Andes is with capital letters.
Okay. Now remember the example with Mount Fuji?
Mount Fuji. Ah, okay, yeah. Both with capitalized. Yeah, I live. I'm going to write.
Okay.
I live near. Mm, eh, but the to capitalize
Mm-hmm.
the too, or I don't. I'm not sure.
Okay. Now
It's
let's
a little
review.
confused when I
Okay.
talk about names in Spanish. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Now let's go back to the rules. Now, in general, do we capitalize the articles a, an, and the?
Yeah, yep.
No.
Oh, no, 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 no. It depends. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I
Okay.
remember the example of the White House. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
normally
Exactly.
we don't have to capitalize the articles. Yeah,
Right. That's it.
it's okay.
Right. Okay. Very good. Okay. Okay. I just want to say hello to Wagner. Hello, Wagner. Thanks for joining us. It's great to have you here with us.
Hi, hi, Carissa.
Hello. Okay,
Hello.
very good. So we're just wrapping up our class. Okay, we're just doing a couple of activities here. Okay, so David, here is your sentence. Um,
Sorry.
okay, all right, David, there's your sentence. Okay, so tell me what needs to be capitalized there.
M in my,
Mm-hmm.
S in Sam,
Okay,
N in North,
okay,
A in America,
okay,
I because is the pronoun I,
okay,
and A in Asia.
okay. Okay, good. So you have several letters that you needed to capitalize there. Good job, Debbie. I think you got it. Excellent job.
Thanks.
Good job. Okay, so Wagner, let me give you a sentence and you tell me what letters need to be capitalized. Is that okay?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Um, okay, and mhm. Okay. All right, very good. Okay, there's your sentence. Okay, so
Yeah.
tell me what needs to be capitalized there.
Let me see. The W, the first letter of the phrase.
Mhm.
Love take vacation with the O, Doctor O, O's. I don't know who can I say that. O Z,
Oz.
us. Okay.
Oz. So you
Uh,
said just the O and Oz?
yeah, the O. Yeah,
Okay.
O,
Okay.
and the G. It's correct. G.
J.
J. Okay, the J in Japan.
Okay.
Uh, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Now I see that there are two more letters that need to be capitalized.
Yeah.
Aha, there's two more.
Really.
Yeah, there are two more.
2?
Yeah.
Oh God.
The ones you told me were very good, but there are 2 more. Okay. Now don't panic. If you need some help, you can ask one of your classmates to help out.
I really don't know. I'm a doctor, maybe. I don't know.
Good. Yep. Monica's
Yeah,
giving you a
really.
hint there. Good. Yep. Okay,
Mm,
because it's a title. It's his title, Dr. Oz.
really. Here in
Yes.
Brazil, we don't use this. Okay.
Yep. Okay, good. So there's one more that needs to be capitalized.
Uh, August, maybe.
That's
Really?
it. Yep, it's a proper
Oh
name.
my God.
It's the name of a month. That's right. So months are capitalized in
The
English.
the names of month is capitalized.
Names of months are capitalized.
Oh
Yes.
God.
hmm They are. Okay, so think proper noun. That's right.
It's good to know. Thanks, really thanks.
Good. Okay. So Wagner, you can scroll up a little bit and take a look at a link that I put in there a little bit earlier, and then that will help you to review some of the rules of capitalization that we looked at today. All right, everybody. So that was a nice review and a nice practice. Hopefully you found it helpful. So the very next time that you're writing, try your best to remember some of those, some of the rules. In a nutshell, the first word in the beginning of the sentence, always capitalized. If you're talking about proper names, proper nouns, always capitalized. And when you're talking about names or titles of books, movies, newspapers, okay, usually the first word is capitalized. It doesn't matter if it's a preposition or if it's an article, but only in that exception. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Well, very good. Thanks everybody for coming to class. This was a great session. Have a
Thank you so
wonderful
much,
day.
Carita.
You're welcome, and I'll
Thank
see you all
you.
soon. You're
Thank you,
welcome.
teacher.
Bye. See
Bye bye,
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
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 You're welcome. Bye-bye, everybody.